You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's easy to sum it up. We're talking about practice.
Because it's about as casual as it gets.
What's the problem now?
That's a clown question, bro.
I think we ought to turn the beat in at least.
World champions! Start playing with some jam in here. Let's go.
Philadelphia, looking as only you can look. Woo!
Here we go.
And good evening, everybody. My name's Eric Perugini. I'm here with Chris Layeth. We're here with Pat Houseman. And this is another edition of the Philly podcast presented by SixPackCoverage.com, La Terrain Watches, and themonkeysuncle.net. And tonight's show, we're going to be recapping the Super Wildcard weekend in the NFL this past weekend, where Chris, real quick, what was our records?
I was 5-1, and I think you two were 4-2.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I was only I went 4-2 because I decided to switch it up and go with the Cardinals. Yeah. Whatever. So, well, everyone, this is us. This is the show, and now we can begin. Gentlemen, how are you tonight?
Well, it was an interesting weekend. You know, it was either a blowout or a close game. That's basically what the games were. You know, it was a fun weekend. You know, unfortunately, the Monday night game was very boring. if you were a non-Rams fan.
Yeah, that was a boring game, but is what it is. So, where would you like to begin, gentlemen?
Well, we'll start with the first game. What was the first? Oh, the Vegas and Bengals game.
Yes.
You know, it looked like it was going to be a blowout. It really did. It was like, oh man, this is like Joe Burrow is just going to run all over them. You know, run past Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase broke Chris Collinsworth's record for rookie receiving yards in a playoff game.
Oh, you know what? I completely forgot Chris Collinsworth was even an NFL player. I can't even stand that guy anymore.
Wow.
Well, here's this guy. Here's a guy. So, oh man. Well, yeah. I mean, look, that game. That was one to watch. I wanted to see that one. That's got. I mean, look, Derek Carr is Derek Carr. Joe Burrow. I mean, Cincinnati has the advantage there where it comes to the quarterbacks. I enjoyed it. Like I mean, honestly, I enjoyed pretty much every game that was going on because it's Wild Card weekend. You know, how can you not? But I think we all knew the outcome, what that would be of that game anyway, and we got what we wanted.
What did you think of the game, Pat?
Well, actually, I picked the Raiders in that game. That was the one game that I got wrong that you guys, I think, I went against what you guys were picking. There's nothing against Joe Burrow or the Bengals. I just thought the Raiders were a team that hang around, and they were going to pull the game out with a field goal. I mean, it got within 20 yards of tying it, you know, at the end. After what looked like it could have been a blowout. So, I mean, they did prove they were a team that kind of hang around. They just couldn't finish the job. Definitely good that he came back and made it a competitive game because, Cincinnati's going to win their first playoff game in 30-some years. It had to be a game like that. It couldn't be a blowout. So, definitely a good first game. Definitely enjoyed watching that one. And I always like watching Joe Burrow play. I don't know why they weren't a primetime game. I think that guy's a great football player. I'd prefer to see him in primetime, but you know, they're the Bengals, and I guess a lot of people out there aren't pining for that, so it's a shame. But yeah, it should have been the primetime game. Definitely thought it was going to be better than the other one they put on.
And so obviously it's the Raiders in the playoffs. So what's a Raiders game without a little controversy? Here you go.
5 in the pattern, Burrow. Tries to keep it alive, scrambles. Throws it back in the end zone, but was he out of bounds?
So here's my thing. He clearly threw the ball, and then you heard the whistle.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was just a blown call. I mean, I don't know why the whistle went. He was in bounds.
No. Well, what I'm saying is no. They blew the whistle after he threw it.
Yeah, like I said, that was. I think it was literally. I don't know what the ref was looking at. I mean, I really don't. I honestly don't. But I mean, you clearly saw in the replay because that was a head scratcher. Everybody said, what was the whistle for?
And they reviewed it a long time.
Yeah, I mean, look, the refs didn't have that great of a weekend, but I mean, that was. So we'll get to that one in a little bit.
Me and Pat disagree on a play, but
I think your hatred of the Cowboys clouding your judgment. That's what I think.
No, absolutely not. We'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, not really. I mean, it was a close game, but it really wasn't exciting. Like it was like, they kept kicking field goals where Vegas was holding them, and then that was it. If it would have been touchdowns, it would have been over really, really quick. But Vegas did their job and held them to the field goals. So
that they did. I mean, I'll give them that they did. And to give Pat credit, like Vegas definitely, was they were always I always found them to be a threat also because they stick around, and then at the end, Derek Carr seems to find a way to get them downfield and score somehow. So it definitely had the feeling of that during the game for me, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe Pat's right. I was like,
they played like they belong, and I just want to point out, Pat, you don't look like you're drinking water. You're really drinking something else.
Yeah, I'm drinking some High Noons.
That's not water. He's like, guys, I'll be right back before the show starts. I
got water too. Yeah, I got water too.
Okay,
Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah.
He's hydrating in between. That's what he's doing.
So obviously the first two games, like they were just boring. Like again, and then you switch to Saturday night, Bills versus Patriots. You figure weather would play a factor. It did for one team.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna let Pat take this because this is his team because I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. They played they played awful.
Cheers to Mac Jones for making the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, cheers to the Pats for they missed it for a year. They came back. I'm happy with that, but they were what they were. They were lucky to have gotten there. I think they had a schedule that kind of benefited them. They did win some games that they needed to, but I mean, they kind of showed what they were: a rookie quarterback and a defense that after the midseason point here, they were just simply too old. McCourty looks like he's on his last legs. Hightower has been on his last legs for weeks. Jamie Collins isn't the athletic Jamie Collins we had. Van Noyes at the end of his career. Just a lot of guys that played really well for us that at this point have just hung around too long, and they just can't they can't stay with a fast team like the Bills. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go.
I also saw J.C. Jackson. Everybody's talking about he's a free agent to be, and he's going to be commanding a lot of money. I think they let him walk. He's going to command top flight. He's a second team All Pro. He's going to command top flight money, being a cornerback, and you can't step up and stop Stefon Diggs. If you're going to be a shutdown cornerback and you're going to get Jalen Ramsey money, you need to lock somebody up. And the guy gets a lot of picks, but he doesn't lock anybody up. So they're going to have a lot of they're going to get a lot very creative in the offseason if they're going to get back to the playoffs next year because they're going to have a lot of holes to fill.
So it sounds like Philadelphia.
It really does.
Is there talks of Mac Jones not being the quarterback next year? Because I've heard because you hear the analysts like the Colin Cowards, all of them saying they should absolutely trade Mac Jones or get another starting quarterback. Mac Jones isn't it?
So if you go to the pages on Facebook, it's kind of like Ben Simmons talk. Half the fan base is divided, the other half isn't. And they want to stand by and support the kid. As you know, when we drafted him, I didn't particularly care for him. I didn't think he had an NFL arm. See, what I saw this year, I definitely think he's going to be a good quarterback. I think next year, just based off what I just said, I don't think it's going to get any easier for him because I don't think they're going to make the playoffs next year. I just think it's going to be too many holes to fill, not enough money cap-wise, and not enough picks to really kind of rebuild it in one season. So I think it's going to be a little bit tough. And the schedule's really hard next year. I think it's going to be tough sliding for him next year. I think, coming up with a 9-8 record, it would probably be good. Just like I said, just looking ahead at what's ahead of them. So it's gonna be hard, but I think 2 years from now, I think they have a good shot at winning that division again. Because I think Josh Allen right now is in his prime, but I don't know how long Josh Allen's going to have a prime. That guy's going to get beat up the way he plays, and I think it's only a matter of time before he starts to decline pretty rapidly. So I'm looking maybe Mac Jones on like a 2-year plan here. I think anybody else that's talking any other nonsense, they're just trying to get a hot take. It's stupid.
So we'll switch gears to Sunday's game. We talked about it the other night. We're not really going to dive too much into it tonight. You can get your thoughts. Eagles 31-15. It was 31-0. The game was never really close. It was Vaughn running up and down the field. Like again, I said the other night, he was Emmitt Smith. So I don't know where Keyshawn Vaughn thinks he is. Dude, you're a running back that we just heard of, so stop acting like you're Emmitt Smith. And that's my take. Oh wait, hold on. And Tom Brady's 44 years old. Can we just can he stop ever?
I'm a little confused because I had Eagles fans for a whole year telling me that they ended him after that Super Bowl, and I mean he just went out there and he won a playoff game. I'm confused, guys. I don't know what to make of that.
I got one for you. Tom Brady has 5 playoff wins as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Dallas Cowboys have 4 playoff wins since 1996. Just going to throw that out there.
Well, they had a statistic up there, and if he wins another playoff game, I think he passes 2 more teams. But there was something along. They had teams overall playoff wins per teams, per franchise. And the Patriots had the most. I think they might have had 52 wins, and I think the Steelers and the Cowboys had 51. And then so the 49ers had somebody. Tom Brady had 47.
There you go.
Yeah, he was number 5 on the list by himself. It's crazy. Some of the statistics are just absolutely insane for his playoff numbers. It's mind-boggling.
He's got a Hall of Fame career his last 10 years.
He's got, I think they were saying if he plays another 5 years, he'll have 3 separate Hall of Fame careers. That's crazy.
Shut up. Shut up.
Yeah.
Well, someone is mad upstairs. So, but yeah, Eagles blown out. It is what it is.
They kind of ran into a buzzsaw, though. You got... You have a veteran-led team, greatest quarterback of all time. A lot of guys coming back off injury and really getting back kind of healthy at the wrong time for them. That was a tough game. That was a tough draw.
All right, so we're going to go into our next
defensive front, and without Bosa the rest of the way. Loss of 13. Prescott hit when he threw it, and it's intercepted. K'Wan Williams able to jump in front.
Wow, what a huge play. If you're a Niner fan, this is starting to get really exciting. You might have a chance to go on the road and upset.
So I just...
Captain Cowboy over here.
So, obviously... We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, jeez, here we go.
So, I'll take this off. I made my point. I don't have a cigar like
Stephen A.
Stephen A. So,
that's awesome.
Where does the blame fall for that team?
So here's my thing. We're gonna get into that real quick. But the the current roster of the Dallas Cowboys is a bunch of crying, whining little bitches. Every single loss this year, with maybe the exception of week 1, they blame the refs.
Right.
They blame you sound like a Philadelphia Flyers fan. I'm sorry. You're blaming the refs for every single, it was, the Oakland Raiders game. Oakland Raiders, again, Las Vegas Raiders. Anthony Brown committed 5 pass interference calls. And they're talking about the last one. Well, when you commit 4 really egregious calls, it's going to go against you. It's just the way of the game. If it looks like that you committed a penalty anywhere near it, and it was a penalty, it was a questionable one, but it was still a penalty, they're going to call it. That's just the nature of the game. So for them not to take any accountability for that, and for Dak and for his comments, he's such an asshole. He went from a great leader to not in a matter of 2 minutes.
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah, all right. And Dak, he put out an apology today.
Hold on.
But or yesterday.
You know why he put the apology out, right?
Because you knew he was going to get fined.
Well, no. The NBA came out and said it. This is Dak's forced apology. Hold on.
Hello there, Your Honor. I want to say I'm sorry for the things I've done, and I try and be stronger.
Who is he, R. Kelly?
I saw that on Twitter, and I was dying. I'm like, oh, this is definitely going up.
That's beautiful.
So the NBA referees came out and said we do not condone we condone the actions, the statements of Dak Prescott. Screw you, Dak. Who the hell are you?
Well, first off, screw the rest from the NBA. I mean, first off, stay in your lane. It ain't your league. Number 2, they're the most sensitive people on the planet. Dwight Howard coughs on a guy. He gets a foul called on him, and it gives him a dirty look, and they're teeing him up. So they got any business to be talking about anybody. So the NBA referees can get screwed as far as I'm concerned.
When you're a player and you're the face of the Dallas Cowboys and you're condoning the actions of things being thrown at people,
let their union handle it.
No.
The NBA refs don't need to get involved. The NBA refs are twits.
Why? No one else. Not one person said anything.
Because they stay in their lane.
No,
they don't need to be getting involved.
No. Yes, they absolutely should.
No, they're horrible.
He got a $25,000 fine. The guy makes $75 million this year, and he's blaming the refs and saying, "Go fans, keep throwing shit. Get the hell out of here."
Yeah, they had a guy in their ranks that were betting on games.
What's
that? Who the hell are they?
Yeah, that was 10 years ago.
Who cares?
I'm talking about 3
There's no
days
colleague.
ago.
Nobody's rolled on him. You're telling me that nobody knew he was doing that in that organization? Get the hell out of here. Screw the NBA referees. Worst referees in all 4 sports. They can go screw.
No, I disagree. I mean,
I totally agree. I back my statement 1,000%. I wish I could stamp it and certify that. They are horrible. They are the worst. And
I wish we had comments tonight.
Act alone. There's other shady shit that's been going on with them. I go all the way back to the 2002 King series. Horrible. Worst referees in all sports. Them guys. I wish if the NHL wrestling came out, the Umpires Association, anybody else but them, I would have been okay with it, but screw them.
But the NBA, maybe the refs, the NHL should have maybe said something. MLB's in a strike, so they don't care. The umps don't care.
Umpires don't care. Yeah, they don't. No, I thought it was. I mean, look, I kind of agree with Pat. It's like the NBA refs are they have such a checkered history. But I did like the fact that other officials for that call games, officiate games, were like, yo, dude, you can't condone people throwing stuff at referees or umpires, whatever. You just can't. I mean that's and you're right, Chris, because he's the face. Dak Prescott's the face of quote unquote America's team. So I mean it's like they are.
And he was given a chance to fix a statement. He was like, "Nah, bro, that's what I meant." Yeah,
right. So, I mean, he completely, like you said, he made himself look out to be the biggest jerk, and it all falls on. At the end of the day, it all falls on him not knowing the rules. I mean, I remember when people were like giving it to McNabb for not knowing you could tie. And here's this guy basically just tapping his center on the ass to hike the ball, which was giving himself 2 yards, and because the referee ran into him. Dude, well,
do you want the referee to run around you? Then the game's over. Here's the problem with that play. I don't care what analytics say. Fire the analytic guy right now, because there's nowhere to say 14 seconds left. You run a quarterback draw.
How about fire the coach for listening to the analytic guy that says run a 14-yard draw with 20 seconds?
You can do that too. Like, that's fine. But some of the play calling, like we're gonna get to the 2 play calls. We're gonna get the play call that me and Pat disagree on, and we're gonna get to the play call that the end of the game on. So
okay.
Cowboys come out, run a perfect punt. Johnny Hecker-esque. They get the first down. They leave the punt team on. Just leave them on.
Right.
So Stan Fran doesn't move. Then they run the offense on. And by league rules, you have to give the defense time to bring it in. To bring it on. And then it's after the umpire lets go of the ball, then it's at the ref's consensus to let it go. There should have been no reason that you got a delay of game on a play like that after you got the first down on a fake punt. You can blame the refs all you want, Pat, and Dallas. You can blame the refs all you want. The delay of game is on Mike McCarthy. It's not even on Dak. It's on Mike McCarthy because he's an idiot. I'll
get to what's Mike McCarthy's fault in just a second.
So hold on. So that is on him. By the league rules, you can't quick snap it and catch a team off.
Nobody was quick snapping it
on a play like that.
Nobody was quick snapping it.
But he wasn't snapping it.
21 seconds they came onto the field.
And then they didn't do anything.
The offense came onto the field at 21 seconds.
But they didn't do anything.
But they came on. That ref got there. He stood there at 6 seconds. I stopped it at 6 seconds. Everybody on San Francisco's team was lined up in their position, ready to go, and he's still standing there. He did not move from his spot till 2 seconds.
Eric will tell you, and I wish Bill was watching and Rich will tell you, I am the epitome of bad referee. I comment all the time. I say shit. Like when the play happened in 2016, Dallas played Green Bay. The opening play, they called them for like too many men in the huddle, and it was like a rule I never heard of. And I'm like, did they just make up a rule? They just make up a penalty? Yeah. Like an illegal formation because you had some. I don't even know what the rule was. I don't even know what the call was. So I will always call officials out for their bad calls. They had 14 penalties.
At 6 seconds, when I could see the linebackers with their hands on their knees and the safeties watching the ball, and the referee still standing over top of it for 4 seconds, not allowing anybody to snap it, there's something wrong with that. So much so that I immediately filmed it and put it right on Facebook. I mean, it went off about 5 seconds after the play happened that I knew there was something wrong with that play.
You don't like refs. We know this for a fact, given your history. The call was the right call.
I thought it was a horrible call.
It was a horrible call on Mike McCarthy. Run your offense out. You got the first down. Stop trying to be cute. This is the playoffs. This isn't a play. This isn't a regular season
to go around for Mike McCarthy. It wasn't that play though.
That absolutely wasn't his fault.
No, that wasn't his fault. His fault was not getting the ball into his playmaker's hands. Pollard barely touched the ball, and CeeDee Lamb was non-existent. On the other side of the field, you had Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan did what with Deebo Samuel? Made sure Deebo Samuel touched the ball and touched it and touched it and touched it and touched it. He's your best player. You put the ball in your best player's hands in playoff games. And CeeDee Lamb was totally non-existent. They ran no plays for him. They ran no exotic looks for him. Like nothing. They didn't do an end around. That's a guy who's a punt returner. He can make a play with his feet. Didn't try any of that. They just completely allowed him to be completely just wiped off the game plan. It was stupid. That's why they lost that game. And that is on Mike McCarthy.
First play after the interception.
Debo follows his blockers and takes off inside the 10. What a run! Touchdown, San Francisco.
That guy, he's just a fantastic football player. You can't call him even a wide receiver. I mean, with everything he does for you, calling him a wide receiver is an insult, because he makes plays like that.
He's what we want Jalen Reagor to be.
He's what you want everybody to be. The guy's an animal. I mean, it's ridiculous. He's a wide receiver who will take on a linebacker, lower his head, and just try to bull through him and get through him. It's something to watch. He can't miss TV every time he touches the ball, and I appreciate that. And like I said, Shanahan did a great job making sure that he got his touches, and when he did, he capitalized on it. And that's what you do with your best players. And Mike McCarthy I don't know what that game plan was. It could have been Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore's getting head coaching job offers now or interviews. Like, that's insane to me too, because again, that was one of the worst games he's called probably since he took over offensive play duties for the Cowboys.
Dude, if I'm a GM and he calls my phone, I'm be like, new phone, who this? Like, I'm not answering that. So then then the play and call is this to end the game.
San Francisco to get to the quarterback here.
Prescott takes off running the football. Whoa, I don't think this is going to work out.
Well, they'll be able to clock this. They were planning for it. Down. Oh, my gosh.
The official gets in the way. The game's over.
Gosh.
The game is over.
Oh, he did.
Oh, they're going to look at this.
It's going to be over because the umpire has to touch the ball. Of course, that's ridiculous for a game to end like that, Jim. Wow, I am livid if I'm a Cowboy fan and if I'm a Niners fan.
That's the end of the game. The game is over. The game is over at San Francisco.
There's a lot of San Fran fans there.
There was.
And can we point out that he slid at the 25 and spotted at the 23? Like, how is not that? How's that not being talked about?
I don't think anyone really noticed it, to be honest with you.
The ump did.
The game's over, so what's the point of even bringing it up?
Well, because they're sitting there saying that the Cowboys should have had one, the Skip Baylesses of the world saying the Cowboys should have had one play, and it's like, no, they shouldn't have.
Well, I mean, who called that game? I was watching.
It was Romo and Nance, and Romo showed his homerism a little too much. That fumble that wasn't a fumble, the incomplete.
Yeah.
He was talking about, the Cowboys are going to have a shot to win this now. Like, well, you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to be impartial here, bro. Like, it was the last quarter of that game was annoying because he was very homerish, and he's generally not like that.
No, he really isn't. I was actually shocked.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, the whole thing, I think it was him that turned around and said, he should have handed the ball to the umpire. The umpire was like 25 yards behind him. So that wouldn't have worked. Bottom line is, with 14 seconds left, you just flat didn't have enough time to run that kind of a play. And he should have slid. If that was the case, he should have slid five yards closer.
5 seconds earlier.
Yeah,
5 yards earlier.
5 yards earlier, and then you would have gotten a little bit closer. He could have thrown to the end zone, but where they were at, they could have had 2 shots at the end zone with the amount of time they had. Why they didn't try to do that, I have no idea. Especially with them playing so far outside, and they were playing sideline out.
They had the
middle of the field. You just overload the middle of the field with guys, and you just throw one up. I don't.
Would they get 40 yards in 10 seconds? Like,
yeah,
do it. Like, use your guys.
Yeah, and you once it's a catch, you have blockers in front of you. You know, if you want, dump it off to somebody, dump it off to Power, and have 2 of your wide receivers who are out in front of them. Just try to block the last few guys down there. It's just. That was just so bad. And like I said, I don't understand Kellen Moore getting job interviews this week. It was a horrible, horrible game for him. And he's probably going to be a head coach this year, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, so we know that. And then we'll go to the next game. And we had one of these.
His case to no avail. Williams is now the back. He drops it.
Again.
And again. Second time. And it's picked up by T.J. Watt with the play alive into the end zone. He goes. Mahomes becomes a decoy. Kelsey's going to throw a touchdown.
Yeah, we had a defensive touchdown by T.J. Watt, and then Travis Kelce with a passing touchdown. He's got more passing touchdown than Carson Wentz in the playoffs, and Jalen Hurts combined. So that game
Weird
was
stats.
That game's just that was just a blowout, 42-21. Steelers had a little bit of life. They were up 7-0. And then Mahomes is like, all right, time to score 3 touchdowns in like 6 minutes.
That was insane. Like, they didn't get a whole first quarter without scoring, and all of a sudden, it's 21 or 28-7, and then they could end up being 35-7 at one point. They just turned it on. That team, they are kind of scary the way they can just turn it on. That being said, though, I think they go down this week.
I think they do too. I think Buffalo is a tough task.
I think Buffalo is going to beat them and going to punish them.
And I hope so, because we all know we are all in here how we feel about that team.
Yeah,
and the one quarterback and how much of a dislike we have for him, as opposed to where it was 2 seasons ago.
And he's not even the guy I hate the most. I mean, I can't stand his family, but all the stuff that I read about Tyreek Hill with his son, like I absolutely despise that guy. So.
Yeah,
cheated, whatever. Like I hope somebody put the helmet right in his face. I can't stand him. Freaking kid beater. I got no time for that guy.
So, and then we'll go into the Monday night game. Did anybody actually watch it?
Yeah.
Eric, did you watch it?
I tried to, but I was like in and out. I was like,
Like, what was this? What was this?
Rams pressure is picked up. Kyler! Did he get rid of it? It's intercepted! It's David Long! Into the end zone for the touchdown! Troy Reeder got the hit on Murray. Nearly had him for the safety for 2. Instead, it's 6, and it's a Rams touchdown. You just have to know the situation in the game. Troy Reeder's going to come on.
It's the shortest pick 6 ever by the shortest quarterback ever.
Yeah, what was it? 3 yards or something?
Yeah,
3 or 2 yards or something. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was.
I don't know what the hell was going through his mind.
That's what should have happened when Jalen Hurts got his foot stepped on and fell and threw the ball to Boston Scott. And that's what should have happened. But I mean, he had luck on his side that day. But that was just insane. I did see that. I was watching that, and I sat there. And what the hell just happened? Did that really just happen? I thought, wow.
I said at the beginning, I think it was last week's show, the Rams are just like super talented. They put it together. Everybody's in trouble, and they
put that shit together real quick.
They did.
They struggled mightily for like, what was it, 4 out of the last 5 games.
Yep.
And then they had it all together.
That defense, man, they can get after it, and that offensive line, they can protect Stafford against any defensive front. Cam Akers is running well. Now he had a drop where I don't think he saw the ball, but I mean, getting a guy like that back who's actually running that well, and he's got spring in his step, and after the injury he had, and we're so close removed from it. Like, it was over the summer that it happened. It's like, it's impressive that he's back now. He's looking as spry as he is, and if he could turn it on in these playoffs, man, they could be a whole different team too offensively. And Sony Michel, he's back looking like Sony Michel. I don't have to keep calling him Panasonic Michel anymore. He's actually looking like he was a couple years ago.
Toshiba
Michel, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're dangerous. Anything's possible. My buddy Orlando on Twitter picked the Cardinals because he couldn't trust Matt Stafford. And then after the Eagles game, tweeted out, anyone know where I can get tickets to the Eagles game next weekend? Hey, buddy.
Should have waited.
They should have waited. Like, if you're gonna troll again, you gotta wait until the game is over. Like, that your team wins. Like, that's all. Just wait till they win. Then talk as much as you want. But his picks are just, and he's sitting there and he's trashing Jalen Hurts, and I think he realized that his $75 million quarterback had the same exact stats, with the exception of Jalen had one more interception.
Jalen's also like 5 inches taller too.
Shorter.
Taller. Jalen's 5 inches taller than Kyler.
No. I'm his quarterback's Dak Prescott.
He's talking about Dak.
Oh, he's okay. I thought you meant he was a Cardinals guy. Gotcha.
No, he's a
No,
Dallas
no.
guy, and he was Orlando Scandrick. He was talking shit on the
Oh, I
Eagles.
thought you said your friend Orlando. I'm thinking you actually have a friend named Orlando. Yeah, you're thinking of Skandrick. Yeah.
No, that troll bag.
That's great.
But yeah, he's tweeting about the Eagles when his team's getting embarrassed, tweeting about he doesn't like Matt Stafford, trust Kyler Murray more, and I get it, and I don't. Kyler hasn't done anything. He's had the same kind of seasons that Matt Stafford has had in his career. And what's his Murray's third year?
With him talking with it, yeah.
Okay.
With Skandrick talking, he's just showing that he has no idea what he's talking about. None. He's got absolutely none. All right, and okay,
he's sitting there and he's saying that the Eagles they would have been better off with Wentz this year. I really don't think he can play the game of football. Like he was a decent corner. Like he was good for Dallas. Like wasn't Deion, wasn't Trayvon Diggs this year, but he was serviceable. He was
a good number 2 corner. You'd be happy if he was the number 2 corner on your team during his prime.
Right. He just doesn't know football. He doesn't know it.
He's letting his emotions cloud his mind is what it is, and he just hates the organization so much. No matter what happens, he's always going to disagree with it.
I mean, you put Skandrick next to Ryan Clark and Dan Orlovsky, and they own him. They just flat out own him. Like these guys know they know the game, and they're talking about the game. He's going off of. I feel like he's going off of in his playing days. Like he's holding something inside, because he obviously does against the Eagles for whatever reason. Like
I love Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark is one of the few players who discusses football and who is good at it and actually knows it. Like we all know Dan Orlovsky was a terrible quarterback, but he's a great analysis when it comes to the game, just like Ryan Clark is. And they always say, if you can't play, you can teach. Yep. Like if you look at the history of sports, like example, Charlie Manuel. Charlie Manuel was not a great baseball player. He was a great manager.
Look at Mike Singletary. Let's stay with football. Look at Mike Singletary. Why wasn't he a successful coach? He couldn't understand why everybody couldn't be an All-Pro like he was.
Right. like Ryan Sandberg in baseball, great baseball player. Couldn't manage. He couldn't. It's just
Mike
part
Schmidt.
Of it. Right.
Mike Schmidt he couldn't even get out of the minors. He was like, I'm done. I'm burnt out.
Right. So it's so when you sit there and you look at these players and you like you say he wears his heart in his sleeve.
Yeah.
I just playing the sport doesn't mean you know it. And I'm in no. Again, I'm doing this from my basement. I am in no way a football connoisseur. If I was, I'd have press passes to Nashville this weekend, but I don't.
Well, I mean, just think about it from this perspective. I mean, if you're good at something, you've never had a struggle. You never had to actually learn it. It just came natural to you. If you have to struggle for something, you can understand with other people who are struggling and help them through the struggles. And a lot of that is coaching. A lot of that is coaching. So if you can't help people through the struggle, you can't coach. I mean, that's coaching 101 there. And these guys that it comes super easy to, they can't relate. They can't relate to these people that are struggling to learn or struggling to do certain sets of skills or, again, arm talent. We'll look at Patrick Mahomes. Guy can throw a 70-yard missile on a dime, and you throw a guy like Chad Pennington up there who's got a noodle arm. He couldn't explain to him, well, this is how I do it. It's apples and oranges. You can't talk to somebody like that. But somebody who's had to struggle and learn the position, and make themselves better just to get to that level, they're going to be able to help others do that because more likely than not, those are going to be the majority of the people you run into in professional sports. The guys that are just barely making the team or struggling or, have one bad camp and they're off the team. Those are the guys you got to relate to and build them up and get them to the next level. A lot of these guys where it just comes real natural to them and easy, they're not a dime a dozen. They don't grow on trees. So, the best guys, like I said, they never had to struggle for anything. They never had to learn. They never had to start at the bottom. They were always used to just being coddled and being at the top. So that's why those guys become the best coaches. I mean, it's
no,
easy.
You're right. So now we're going to switch to this weekend's games and we'll get everyone's picks.
Well,
so we got the Bengals. Go ahead.
I wanted to say something real fast. We didn't get to touch on this, but Fox Sports has been destroying the Dallas Cowboys, posting memes and stuff. Well, memes showing stats and stuff. Like, I'm looking at one right now, which I find pretty, like, it's all right. Dak Prescott versus Tony Romo in their first 6 seasons as starters. Their playoff records are identical at 1-3. They post that out there. Then they have the playoff wins. Tom Brady 5 with the Buccaneers and 4 for the Cowboys.
Since 96, since
Yeah.
1996.
And then here's my favorite one they put out. Tom Brady has 35 playoff wins. That's the same amount of playoff wins the Dallas Cowboys have in franchise history. I love it. Like, they're trolling the hell out of that.
Right. Not any other franchise.
No.
Like,
no.
Because Cowboys are at the top of the list for most franchise playoff wins. They're top 5 team.
Yeah,
like, they
they're
could
up
have
there.
said, but like you said, he's like they could have said like the Eagles, the Redskins,
Oh, yeah.
the Giants. They're just like, we're going all in. Whoever's running Fox's Twitter and Facebook account is definitely a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
It's probably the same person that used to run Wendy's. Wendy's Facebook account or Wendy's Twitter account was savage for a long time. That guy got a raise. He's working for Fox Sports now.
And real quick, I also saw something else. We were talking about Deebo Samuel earlier, how like amazing this guy is.
Yeah.
His snaps by alignment versus the Cowboys: 13 snaps in the backfield, 13 in the slot, and 19 altogether at wideout.
Yeah.
Like that, he's just everywhere.
Yep.
Everywhere.
And Kyle Shanahan gets him the ball. It's smart.
And Trayvon Diggs did not have a good game.
No, he didn't.
Like it was there for him not to have a good game, and he didn't. Like and they lost Joey Bosa. I did right. That is the right Bosa, right?
No, Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa. Yeah.
They lost Nick Bosa. I was like, oh, it's curtains for the Niners.
So did I. I said the same thing. I was like, man, that's over.
That was a head injury too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he might be back this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
You look at Trayvon Diggs' numbers. Take the interceptions out of it for a second, and just look at the amount of yards he gave up, and the yards given up to opposing wide receivers, and yards after the catch for opposing wide. His numbers are very pedestrian and mediocre. The only thing that made him a Pro Bowl corner this year was all the touchdowns and the picks. And like Grant, that's great.
Yeah.
But I want to shut down corner to just completely tie up the other team's best wide receiver. I don't need him to do anything else. I don't need him to go and score me touchdowns or get me like 12 interceptions. Just go lock the other guy down, take half the field away.
A shutdown corner holds you to like 30 yards a game.
One catch, 10 yards, one catch, 12. Like Jalen Ramsey throws that up there every so often against a really good wide receiver. It's like, wow, like Adam Thielen or like somebody like that. It's like, wow, he completely just crushed that guy today.
Yeah, he gave up 66 yards a game. And I think like half of the like at least 30% of his passes thrown his way went for a first down.
Yeah,
they completed like 47%. You get the Dallas Cowboys feelings in their fans because they're like, oh, now they're just making these stats up. No, they've been around. And like when I sat there and you sit there and you try to be logical, I'm like, listen, Asante Samuel was the same way.
Yeah, but Asante Samuel could only play zone 2. He couldn't play. He wasn't a man corner. You're stuck putting him on one side.
And there's nothing wrong with that. If you know that's what you're going to get, you know what you're going to get. But you're telling me Trayvon Diggs is as good as Deion Sanders. He's as good as Jalen Ramsey. He's not. He's good. Yeah. He's got a lot of potential. He's got a lot of upside. He's a young kid. If he can work on that, Devontae Smith versus Trayvon Diggs is going to be a great thing that Eagles fans.
It's going to be a great battle to watch for years.
Right.
For years.
If you get him on a double move, it's it.
Right. I'll tell you what, though, as good as that guy the potential for a ceiling could be, he's never going to be the best player on his defense. That's going to go to Micah Parsons, and that really hurt losing him this past weekend. Cowboys losing him.
Yeah, that's something that really wasn't brought up enough. Like that really hurt them big time.
That guy can flat out play. He's going to be best defensive player probably in football in a year or two, and that's saying something because Aaron Donald's still going to be playing, and that guy is that good. He's that much of a difference maker. So that was a big loss for them. But like Chris was saying, the Niners lost Bosa, and anything that hurt them for losing Parsons hurt them equally losing that guy because, like I said, he's great at rushing the passer.
Yeah, no, he was. So we'll switch over. We'll go to our picks. I got the lead at 5-1. I went with my heart. I mean, realistically, like I said on Tuesday, it should have been a close game. It shouldn't have been what it was, but it is what it is. I went 5-1. My loss was Dallas. Pat went 4-2. Your loss was the Raiders. And did you take the Rams or did you take the Cardinals? I'm
I
trying.
thought I took the Rams. I was big on the Rams last week. If you watched the show,
Yeah. But all right, I'm pulling it up. So there was, and then give me 1 second. I'm trying to think. But we got Nash, Tennessee. We got Tennessee and Cincinnati. 3.5 point underdog for.
I went
Cincinnati.
Cowboys. That's who it was. I thought the Cowboys were going to win. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
those are my 2 losses. Yeah,
that's who it was. Yeah, and Eric went with the Cowboys and the Cardinals. That's who it was. So 5-1. You're grand champion after 1 week. 4-2 to these minions. No,
that's awesome.
But no, you know, I could have went 6-0, but I was like, I can't pick the Eagles. And I said before, you know, I said a nightmare matchup for Dallas is the 49ers because they have a great pass rush, and you know their corners they're okay corners. They're not great, but you know their linebackers are really good. Do you know what I would do if we had Fred Warner on the Eagles? I would cry tears of happiness. But let's go to the games. Tennessee, Bengals. Bengals 3.5 point underdog. The King comes back. Again, it's one of those games where you wait until kickoff to see what the line is at. If you're betting, you know, it's only plus 155 on the money line. So you bet $100, you only win 155. That
doesn't entice me.
It's not worth a bet. Like it's, you know, over and under is 47. So for me, I got to go with Tennessee. I think they got the veteran quarterback. You got Derrick Henry's coming back, who's healthy as, I guess you could say, a horse. You know, it would be nice to see what cornerback he throws this year in the playoffs that he does every year. It's always one player he throws. Was it Josh Norman 1 year? The other year was
Earl Thomas.
So
after Earl Thomas talked a whole bunch of smack about, oh yeah, we're going to hit that guy. Patriots defense didn't want to hit him, and then he was getting spun around. Derrick Henry was pretty much spinning him like a top as he's running by him.
We'll get to your picks in a minute because obviously I'm going Tennessee. But if just think about it, you're on a football field and you see Derrick Henry coming at you, and you're just standing there like this in an open field. What are you doing? Because I'm
running the other way.
I'm going down. I'm going to at least dive as he runs by at his feet because I don't want.
Yeah, I'm going to close my eyes and just dive in the direction of his hip and just hope I knock him. Hope something works out. That's it. You know.
Hey, look at Pat Hausman on the sideline. He's at the 50.
Yeah,
he's just hanging on. Oh, look, there's Chris Lav hanging on to Pat Hausman's cleat.
Yep.
That's Derrick Henry's dragging us. Oh, look, there's Eric Perugini. He's on his other cleat. There's 3 guys trying to tackle him.
He's just levitating his way to the end zone. Yeah.
Right. He's moonwalking.
Yeah.
Picks us off. He's a freak of nature. He shouldn't be that big and that fast.
He is, but my concern is that he's not going to be that fast this weekend. I just think with the layoff, I went against Joe Cool last week, and I shouldn't have. I really like Joe Burrow. I'm not going to go against him this week. I'm going to actually pick Cincinnati this week. I just don't think Derrick Henry's going to be healthy. I know they got the veteran quarterback in Ryan Tannehill, but they're not. Ryan Tannehill's not a quarterback that I'm scared of, and Tennessee's not a 1 seed that I'd necessarily be scared of either going into this game. And I just think Cincinnati is a better team at this point in the season. Tennessee kind of just fell their way to the 1 seed. The Bengals went out and they beat a couple really good teams to get into the playoffs, get the seeding they got, including beating Kansas City. I really like that offense. I really like that quarterback. The defense, I think, is good, and I think they're going to hold up just enough to win that game. Give me Cincinnati.
Eric?
I'm also going Cincinnati. I don't think – I agree with Pat. I don't think Henry's going to be like 100% healthy, which no guy ever is when they're coming back off an injury. But, I mean, I still think he's going to have a good game. But, I mean, on the flip side, you have Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is, he's another, he's a 1,200-yard, rusher this year, 13 touchdowns on 292 attempts. Derrick Henry was 937 yards. Like, he would have obliterated everybody, if he'd stayed healthy. And so that's the truth. I like Joe Burrow over Tannehill. Burrow's over 4,000 yards with 34 touchdowns and 14 INTs. Tannehill, 21 touchdowns, 14 INTs. But the one that gets me, the matchup that gets me, that's pushing me over is Jamar Chase versus A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's he's been banged up this year, and he's had an up and down season. But Jamar Chase, 1,400 yards, 81 catches for 13 touchdowns, and he's fast. He's a monster. So I'm taking the Bengals in this game with that connection of Burrow to Chase. I think is going to be too much to handle for Tennessee's defense.
I just think like Tennessee's the type of team too that if they get down, they're done. They're done. Like if Cincinnati comes out first drive, scores, and let's say they turn around, hand the ball off to Derrick Henry on like 2nd 8, and he fumbles, and Cincinnati has a short field to go back down and score, Tennessee's gonna be like, holy shit. And they're gonna be pressing. They're gonna be throwing the ball probably more than they should. It's just that team's built to play ahead. If they get down early by multiple scores, my concern is Mike Vrabel's just too quick to try to just throw and go step away. Like I really something about this game. I really think Cincinnati's going to win this game.
So I'm gonna a couple things. I'm going with Tennessee based on coaching. Vrabel's been there. He's got the experience. I look at this the same way I look at the Eagles when they played the Falcons in 2017. Coaching was just better. You bring up Tannehill. Tannehill amazingly threw 11 more passes this year than Joe Burrow. Granted, Joe Burrow threw for 900 more yards, but Joe Burrow also had Tyler Boyd. He had T. Higgins. He had that. I'm not even going to try and say that tight end's last name. So I'm not. Uzama. And he had Jamar Chase. So it's I'm not.
So you're saying you're picking against him because he has better playmakers around him?
I'm picking against him. I'm picking against him because of coaching.
Okay.
Joe Burrow and Ryan Tannehill had the same amount of interceptions this year. So Tannehill's going to get his name picked on because he only threw 21 touchdowns as opposed to Burrow's 34 touchdowns. But when it comes to turnovers, they're the same amount of passes. Defenses step it up in the playoffs. There's a reason Tennessee was the number 1 defense. So my pick is Tennessee. It has nothing to do with Ryan Tannehill, A.J. Brown, Jamar Chase. I think it's going to come down to coaching. I think this is Tennessee's year to get there. Like the coaching tree of Bill Belichick finally succeeds. So we got that. Then what is Green Bay and San Fran?
Green Bay.
Like San Fran is Green Bay's kryptonite for some reason. Like
I
don't even know if I want to pick this game. I feel like I want to hear your guys' points, and maybe you guys can change my mind. I don't even have anybody.
Yeah, so
I might flip a coin.
So logic tells you that the 49ers won't be able to keep up with what should be a track meet with the Packers, because the Packers, they score and score and score and score, and you say, well, Jimmy G's not going to be able to do that. But Aaron Rodgers sucks against San Francisco. So I don't know. I mean, like you said, logic's telling me go Packers. I'm going to go Packers because of that, but I'm not confident in that pick at all.
I feel the same way. Like I'm doing the same thing. I'm
glad I'm not the only one who's like, let's go Packers, but I think San Fran's going to win.
Yeah, I'm not confident. That's the pick I had the least amount of confidence in.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I feel the same exact way. I mean, I never count Rodgers out, but you're right. San Fran is their kryptonite. The way Rodgers is the kryptonite for the Bears in Soldier Field. Like, he just owns them there. You know what I mean? So, it's like that's how I feel.
So think about this. So you got Cincinnati and Tennessee. The over and under net is 47. Green Bay and San Fran, the over and under is 47. That's a game you don't touch. I don't care.
No.
You don't touch it all if you're betting.
And to be honest,
you know what you do? You buy points and you take San Fran. You buy the spread.
I mean, on the over-under, I would say San Fran's going to win it because that's what each team's getting 23.5 points. I think for the Packers to win that game, they got to score in the 30s.
You're right.
Now, and don't forget, Garoppolo's playing with like an injured hand or a wrist.
Yeah, it's his thumb. Yeah.
It's his thumb.
Yeah.
It's on his throwing hand, right?
It's on his throwing hand. He had it looked like he had like a gross kind of like sore like right here on his thumb. I'm like, I don't know what the hell he's got going on. It looked like a vampire bit him or something. It was gruesome looking, but he's out there slinging the ball still. When that injury happened, I thought, wow, well, he's done. Like Trey Lance will be the quarterback the rest of the way. I'm shocked that he's out there. All credit to him. I mean, he's gotten a lot of hate thrown his way because of him getting hurt all the time and everything. But playing through this injury, which seems like it's a pretty serious injury, and he ain't doing too bad. Kudos to him. But he also did get hurt, I believe, in the game. I think they said he had something wrong with his shoulder. It's something.
Yeah. He's really banged. Like I've been reading the tweets all week about him. They're saying that he's like really banged up, but he's going to go. And I'm like, I give him all the credit in the world. And I know people give him a lot of crap for, they don't think that he's a franchise quarterback or whatever. But I mean,
he didn't live up to the hype of the contract.
Right.
I mean, he did get them to a Super Bowl or help get them to a Super Bowl. But yes, he also helped them lose that Super Bowl because he couldn't play.
Hey,
right,
so did Colin Kaepernick.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
We're all taking the Packers, but we're not shocked if the 49ers win.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So now we'll go into Sunday's game. Rams-Buccaneers.
I can't wait for this game. This is the game.
What's that? You're just going right in.
He just went right for the jugular. Rams.
Rams. They're going to get enough pressure in the A-gap to really get the pressure in Brady's face, and that's going to be the difference. Rams are going to win that game. Big physical defense. Yeah,
this is what I think of your pick. Go ahead.
Look.
Again, here we go. It's a 3-point spread, which means at the end of the day, it's a push. Money lines plus 125. This is a game where you take the Rams and the points, but you go.
I mean, look, something tells me never go against Brady. I mean, the guy threw for over 5,000 yards this year. I mean, but then again, he doesn't have Godwin, doesn't have Antonio Brown. I really like the Rams in this one. This offense is fun to watch. And now they have not only do they have Cooper Kupp to go along with Stafford, but now you have a good 1-2 punch at running back. Cam Akers is back. And I don't think a lot of people are realizing he got game action last week. And your boy Sony Michel. What's that?
He had 66 yards last week.
Yeah, he had. Yeah, I mean he
looks spry.
Yeah, and coming back from that ACL, that's great. So I mean now they have a legitimate 1-2 combination at running back with probably one of the best wide receivers in the game. Yeah. And I think this is Stafford. And I'm not going to say it's his year. I'm not saying the Rams are winning the Super Bowl, but this is Stafford's best chance. And I think they do what the impossible could be, and that's beat Tom Brady.
So the Eagles game, that guy Wirfs, who's their starting right tackle, who's an all-pro, him going out.
Snap.
What's that?
Didn't miss a snap all season until the playoffs.
Yeah. And they put him back in with like an ankle, and then he went back out. Like he landed funny, and that was just kind of it. Him not being healthy, and he's probably going to miss that game, is going to kill that team. Because they're going to be able to get pressure from the outside. You're going to have to help on the outside, which means that the inside is going to have less help to contain Aaron Donald. It's going to be a problem for the Bucs, and you're going to have Jalen Ramsey over on Mike Evans, and that's going to take him out of the game. So you're going to be stuck throwing to Brayton Gronkowski. Not going to be enough to get it done. That the Rams are going to win that game.
So my pick, Rams are 3-point underdog. The over and under is 48. With that, I gotta go Rams. There's the defense, like they balled out last week, So I'm gonna go Rams. We all go Rams. It's a game that you take. This is a game you bet the Rams.
Yeah,
you take the money line, or you take the points, whatever you want. It's not a big money line. You bet 100, you win 125. It's not a great money line.
I mean, Cooper Kupp had almost 2,000 yards receiving this year and 145 catches. I mean, he's going to be all over the place.
And Beckham now is finally getting used to being in this offense.
Talking about no one Beckham.
Yeah.
Yep. I was just going to say.
He's just getting his feeling for this offense. That's the scary thing.
So with that, we all got the Rams.
Yes.
I'm going to go first. I'm going Buffalo. I'm going Buffalo all out. I'm going Buffalo. I think they're going to blow them out of the water. It's going to be a 2-touchdown game. That's just my opinion. I think it's going to be 35-21. It's not about coaching. It's not about offense. It's not about defense. It's Buffalo and Josh Allen. The guy's a goddamn man beast. Maybe he took some Viagra to keep warm. But I think they're going to blow Patrick Mahomes out of the water. Their defense is good. Their offense is good. Everyone's healthy. I'm going Buffalo. It's a 2-point. Buffalo is. I don't understand how Buffalo's a 2.5-point underdog.
I don't know either because I mean, the stats for Allen and Mahomes are scary similar. I mean, minus
games at Arrowhead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
2.5-point favorite at home is really an underdog.
It's a push.
It's a push. But I would even say to me it's screaming of a 1.5-point for Buffalo. So I would say they're probably actually looking at they're the favorite. I think Vegas is thinking they're gonna win this game. I think we might see Ja Rule on the sidelines because there's gonna be some murder somewhere. That's how bad they're gonna beat them. All right. So that's my take on that. I'm totally with Chris. I just think this has I think this just has a magical Bills playoff run written all over it for this year. They are a very good team. They're very good on both sides of the ball. They're a team that does very well, obviously, in the cold, so you don't have to worry about getting derailed. Bad weather game, they're fine in it. I don't see a whole lot of teams that are going to be able to get in their way at this point. So I like the Bills in this game. I think they smash Patrick Mahomes, and I'm going to enjoy every second of it.
So, with that, so this weekend's either going to go one of two ways. I'm still going to be king, or we're going to be tied, because we only went different on the Nashville.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm going Bills too. I am. I'm going to Buffalo Bills. I mean, I and this is probably going to be, even though the previous game we talked about was like one of my favorites to watch. I can't wait to watch this one because you got two amazing quarterbacks, and they both have an amazing wide receiver to throw to. Like, I'm looking at the numbers right now for yards and touchdowns and receptions. Stephon Diggs, 1,225 yards. Tyreek Hill, 1,239. Diggs with 10 touchdowns, 103 receptions. Hill, 9 touchdowns and 111 receptions. Like, offensively, between the quarterbacks and the two number one wide receivers, the game is is really even.
Good tight ends too. Dalton Knox is a good wide receiver.
I was just going to say
he's a good tight end.
He's very underrated.
Yeah, and he's underrated, but he's going up against arguably like the king right now, of Kelsey, but I mean, so it's
didn't Knox didn't Knox throw a touchdown pass this year? And when he did it, he gave his wide receiver the finger.
He broke his finger was mangled.
Oh, I thought he was actually flipping the bird as he was throwing the ball to him. It was like an inside.
Oh, you know what? No, it was, but his hand was still mangled. No,
gotcha.
You're right.
That makes me like the guy even more. So that has me rooting for him.
So funny.
So I'm gonna go with one wild card player pick from this weekend. If you guys can think of one, give it to me. I'm gonna go Cole Beasley. I haven't heard anything from him, and I guess he's done.
I don't know. I don't know if his battery ran out or what. I mean, unless you just made him mad when you said Cole Beasley, he's like, that's it. No, I don't know. I don't have. No, I don't.
We say Kingmaker, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be a difference maker in that game. I really do. It's like, and he's only going to, the more he plays, the more he's going to get his legs under him and everything, and he's just going to get better as the playoffs go on. I mean, so if they make the Super Bowl, he's gonna be primed. So yeah, I'll go with Cam Akers. Here comes Patrick again. What happened there, Pat?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happens. After like an hour, just here for like more than like an hour, I feel like I just get kicked off. Everything slows down. I get kicked off, and when I come back on, I'm good. I did hear what you were saying. Though you were saying about one wild card player that's going to play into this weekend.
I was like, I guess you didn't like my pick of Cole Beasley.
I was like, I guess you made him mad.
No, you know what? That's actually a pretty good one.
Yes, German. We're sorry we're not talking about the stink ass Giants. And that is the most mention they're going to get on this show. Sorry. You can give us all the eyes you want. Go back to New York. Go down in the sewer with the bum rats. It's all good, buddy. Love you, bro.
Since Chris didn't know his name earlier, I'm going to go with Uzama. I think he comes up with 2 touchdown passes this weekend.
It's a good one.
Yes. That's a good one. I went with Cam Akers.
That's a good one. Like I said, he's for the injury he had to come back and be playing the way he is right now. Amazing. Like you said, he's got pop in his step, everything. That whoever did his surgery and did his rehab, man, kudos. Everybody should be going there to get it done.
I just said to Chris, I said he's only going to get stronger as the playoffs go on. I said, and if they make the Super Bowl, by the time he hits the Super Bowl, he's going to be in full stride.
Oh yeah, yep. I expect them to get there. Like I said, that's going to be my pick for the rest of the way out here. That team, like you said, they're going to be tough to stop if they're on it. If everything's rolling their way, they're going to be really, really hard to stop.
And Chris just sneezed.
Yeah, that was weird.
Corona.
That's awesome.
I got a couple.
The king and queen of Walmart.
I like that he's got a turnover chain.
I love the chick that's crying. I'm sorry. Like, sweetheart, you don't even look like you're old enough to remember the last time they won.
Listen, but she was crying with like 12 minutes to go in the game. Like Tony Romo said, like, dude, it's not time to cry yet. Like, what are you doing? Like, that was so weird.
She was having her drunken white girl moment.
Yeah,
she was getting all emotional.
Yes,
she just walked out of a bar. She was just walking out of a bar on Frankfurt Avenue. You kidding? What the hell's going on?
He told me he loved me. I'm going straight to hell.
But Chris, did you see the video that I tagged you in from Get Up with Stephen A. Smith showing his top 5 favorite?
Oh God, yes.
It was amazing.
I said, and it's when Dallas loses, it literally brings America together. It's almost like the days after. I hate to compare it to the days of 9/11. Like everybody is like everyone's joy, everyone's happy, everyone's posting stuff. They're just disappearing like they always do.
I don't even like get happy for like the actual loss anymore. I get excited for what Stephen A. Smith is going to post and say. Like, I mean, it's not even to the point anymore where I'm like, there you go. Like, dude, his tweets are the best. Like, the first thing he does, he sends out a tweet, and it's like he pans from the TV, and it's just him, and then he just starts laughing. I'm like, dude, I look for his.
The one guy he was watching a game with, he tweeted out, he's like, I'm never watching a Cowboys game with Stephen A. He's like, I hate him.
Yeah, because he goes into the whole Screaming A. Smith. He's not even Stephen A. Smith. He's Screaming A. Smith. He just screams all the time. I love it,
though. Like, I do. Like, I look forward to his social media takes more than the actual loss that Dallas is taking. Like, I literally do. It's like Stephen A. just gets me. I just start laughing. I'm sorry.
Howdy, folks.